What's going on, guys? It's Cynical and welcome back to another video. Today for you guys, we're going to be talking about something fairly interesting that ended up going down yesterday during the Final Fantasy 15 2nd Anniversary Special Program Report. This was a 40-minute live stream where Square Enix was celebrating the 2nd anniversary of Final Fantasy 15 and to also step forward to reveal the next sort of wave of information for the game, to focus on the second wave of DLC, which was going to consist of 4 different DLC episodes that was going to get released throughout 2019. Earlier this year at PAX East, Square Enix revealed that there was going to be a second season of DLC for Final Fantasy 15, including Episode Arden, Episode Aranea, Episode Lunafreya, and to finish it all up, Episode Noctis, which would give us a sort of grand alternate ending for Final Fantasy 15, connected to that of what ended up happening in Episode Ignis with its sort of alternate ending to the universe. So some pretty wacky stuff ended up actually happening yesterday, and some stuff that I think a lot of people were definitely not expecting whatsoever. Final Fantasy 15's second wave of DLC has been completely cancelled, aside from that of Episode Arden, and this news shocked a lot of people. Episode Aranea, Episode Lunafreya, and Episode Noctis have been confirmed to be out of production, meaning that Square Enix are not going to be developing these DLC episodes, and that basically the content cycle for Final Fantasy 15 has come to a complete end, aside from that of course, Episode Arden, which is going to be getting released in March of 2019, marking the very final content piece for the game itself. Now, this is ultimately disappointing because I know that for a lot of avid Final Fantasy 15 fans, people were especially looking forward to the Episode Aranea as well as the Episode Lunafreya. And I know, especially for me, Episode Noctis, the Final Strike, I was really looking forward to this because this was going to give us a look into a different ending to wrap up Final Fantasy 15. And as we know, Final Fantasy 15's story, it was very good. There were a lot of complaints towards it with certain things sort of missing throughout the experience itself, and Square Enix have really been hard at work over these sort of past couple of years to kind of patch things up with the story, give it a different sort of perspective as to where the story could have gone, and Episode Noctis was going to sort of wrap up that alternate perspective of Final Fantasy 15's story. There are also a lot of other things planned for Final Fantasy 15 as well, including an expanded Dark World map, which I know a lot of people were wanting, and also when looking towards the PC side of things, there was also going to be a level editor that was going to be getting released with the Windows Edition that would allow the community to create their very own environments, world spaces, and levels for the game itself. That too has also been officially confirmed to actually come to an end. Any other extra sort of PC content in the ways of mod tools have been confirmed to be not in development, meaning that any other extra content for the game itself is not coming out aside from that of Episode Arden. Now, Square Enix actually gave an official statement towards sort of the reasoning behind the decision behind this. This is the statement right here. The brand manager for Final Fantasy 15 said this: "Allow me to provide additional insight into what we mean by a directional change for the company. A new company called Luminos Productions was formed, centered around the staff who had been previously developing the main game as part of Business Division 2, and have continued to work on the project since. The main purpose of establishing Luminos Productions was to create a studio that can deliver a completely new AAA title to the global market. And due to this directional change, the company has decided to focus our resources on the development of this AAA title. This resulted in the decision to cancel the production of 3 out of the 4 DLCs originally planned and introduced. Although this is extremely regretful, we hope everyone will continue to look forward to Episode Arden, which is still being developed in earnest. As for our new title currently in the works at Luminos Productions, we wish everyone will hold high hopes for our upcoming title as well." Now, I do have a feeling that this coincides with the recent financial report that Square Enix released on the 7th of November. Now, in case you guys don't know, Luminos Productions, a new development team, this was actually formed during the start of this year. The Luminos engine has always been Square Enix's in-house engine, but at the start of this year, they decided to actually form a team completely solely based around Luminos to focus on making higher quality content with the Luminos engine. Square Enix have been trying to do a lot of different things throughout this year with the Luminos engine, not just focusing towards video games, but also trying to focus on other pieces of content like videos and movies using the engine as well. The focus around the Luminos engine, the plans that the Luminos team actually had, have not really been working within Square Enix's favors, and within a recent financial report, Square Enix have confirmed that they've actually lost about 3,733 million yen due to the content production of the Luminos engine. This is what was stated in the financial report. Square Enix had decided to undertake an in-depth review of the business strategy for a wholly owned subsidiary, Luminos Productions. This decision has resulted in the booking of an extraordinary loss amounting to 3,733 million yen, which pretty much equates to about that of 33 million US dollars, primarily reflecting the disposition of the portion of the content production account related to the aforementioned subsidiary. So it seems to be that with Square Enix's focus around this new Luminos Productions team and the different things that they've been trying to do throughout this year with the money that they've been investing in this new team, it seems to be that through doing so, they've actually come to an extreme loss of, almost 33 million US dollars. It seems to be that in these grim times, Square Enix are deciding to sort of scrap any other projects that they originally had with the Luminos Productions team using the Luminos engine, and rather deciding to focus on this new AAA title that Luminos Productions are going to be working on. This ultimately sounds like the smartest move, especially with the situation that Square Enix are currently in. However, though, keeping in mind that this kind of stuff definitely does happen more than you would think, not when looking towards just Square Enix, but other video game developers and publishers out there as well. And I don't think that this is like the dark times for Square Enix. I don't think that they are going under whatsoever. Keeping in mind that, of course, we have Just Cause 4 that is coming out very shortly. Kingdom Hearts 3 is pretty much on the horizon too. The recent Dragon Quest has actually been doing really well as well. And not to mention the crazy amounts of different mobile titles that Square Enix have with the different amounts of microtransactions attached to these. I think Square Enix from a financial standpoint will be okay. Now, that being said though, losing $33 million, it's a pretty damn big loss, and Square Enix even said it in this report itself, an extraordinary loss. So yeah, I can't help but sort of feel for Square in these times. However, the whole situation for Square Enix gets even crazier because during yesterday's Final Fantasy 15 livestream, it was actually announced that Hajime Tabata, who you guys should know is the director of Final Fantasy 15, and also played a really big role in the Luminos Productions team, has actually resigned from that of Square Enix to go on to create his very own video game development company. This is Hajime Tabata's official statement that he put on Facebook about this whole situation. He said right here, "It's almost going to be 2 whole years since the release of Final Fantasy 15. I honestly believe the reason we were able to get this far is because of all of you loyal fans. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Today I have a personal announcement to make to all of you. I, Hajime Tabata, will be resigning from Luminos Productions and the Square Enix Group as of October 31st, 2018. I was able to gain so much experience with my time at Square Enix. Every title I was able to be a part of means a lot to me. However, Final Fantasy 15 stood out from that group as it was a special project for me, which I went all in on. Therefore, I decided to take this opportunity to officially announce my departure from Final Fantasy 15 to all the fans who have supported the title across the globe. In regards to my next endeavors and near future, I have a project that I truly wish to solidify as my next challenge after Final Fantasy 15. For that reason, I have decided to leave my current position and start my own business in order to achieve my goal. As production of Episode Arden continues and Luminos production works on new projects, I felt that it was time for me to hand over the torch to the next generation group of talented and trustworthy colleagues and believe that they will create something amazing. From this day on, I will cheer on and support Square Enix and Luminos Productions together with all of you fans. I would like to thank everyone who continued to support Final Fantasy 15 and those who have also supported myself personally." So if the $33 million loss for Square Enix and the cancellation of the Final Fantasy sort of DLC wave wasn't enough, yeah, Hajime Tabata is stepping down from Square Enix, the big boss of Final Fantasy 15, to go on and to pursue his own endeavors. Now, keeping in mind that Hajime Tabata has been involved with Square Enix for an extremely long time, about 19 years. He joined Square Enix back in 1999 and has worked with the company ever since on various different projects. Of course, he became director for Final Fantasy 15 back in, I believe, 2014. And so, yeah, he's been very loyal to this company, and of course, with his time that he spent on Final Fantasy 15, it's pretty sad to see this man leaving. But of course, with him having his own goals and intentions and plans in mind, especially with him wanting to develop his very own video game, we have to let the man go. We have to let the man go. And judging by his statement right here, he seems very passionate about, pursuing what he wants to do. But it's very interesting that this whole financial report comes out at the same time the announcement of the cancellation of Final Fantasy 15's second DLC, and to top it all off, Hajime Tabata ends up leaving. All of these things I personally believe are sort of connected somehow, but with that being said, it's very obvious that Hajime Tabata definitely wanted to go off and pursue his own endeavors. So yeah, it's a pretty crazy time for Square Enix as of right now, but like I said earlier on in the video, I don't think that these are extremely dark times for that of Square Enix. Square Enix will surely get back on their feet in no time. With some upcoming releases and all the mobile titles, Square will be fine. I suppose at some point the content cycle of Final Fantasy 15 had to sort of come to an end, and it's honestly very admirable that the content cycle for this game has continued a total of like 2 years after the official release of the game. For a lot of games out there, they do not continue to receive DLC 2 years after release, unless of course it is something like a multiplayer game. So considering that Final Fantasy 15 is a single player game that has continued to receive content ever since its release back in 2016, I think Square Enix have done a really good job handling Final Fantasy 15. I'm looking forward to episode Arden personally. The trailer is currently out as of right now. It looks really cool. It sort of gives us a origin insight towards Arden. It is set 30 years before the main events of Final Fantasy 15, so personally I'm really interested to dive into this to learn a little bit more about Arden himself. But March 2019 will mark the end of Final Fantasy 15. I'm also disappointed about the support towards the mod tools coming to a halt as well. Was looking forward to the whole level editor thing, but unfortunately that is not happening anymore. Alright guys, I thought I'd just get this second video out for today because this is a pretty big deal, especially for Square Enix. In the comment section down below, guys, please do share your thoughts and opinions. However guys, with all that being said, I'm Cynical. Hopefully you dudes are having a fantastic day, and until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.